Hi everybody, it's Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and I'm here to tell you a secret. You know by the title, I did it again. I can't stop going to Barnes & Noble. I know that they're closing, and believe me, my heart breaks because I love this place. I just, the staff, especially at the cafe, is really nice, and I've always had just wonderful experiences there, reading, working, being there with my kids, that it's just been a staple, so it's really hard. But what's even harder is the person that loves books and having a bookstore less than 10 minutes from your house that's closing and deep sales. I mean, how do you sleep? How does one sleep? How does one sleep and not go? I've gone several times now and I gotta stop, okay? Because I'm not sure when they're supposed to close. I think before the end of January. I don't know. I mean, the hard part also is each time I go, there's more and more vacant shelves. It's a huge one. So it is a lot of books. But this time what the experience was like, I was observant of the other people in there. The first time I went, it was kind of, people were Christmas shopping. And then it's just, like this different vibe and energy. This time it was like, I'm sorry, I can feel I'm gonna cough. This time it was like, I felt like there was more kindred spirits there. I know this sounds corny, but like people that were there that, it was a little tad bit solemn, but also a little twinge of excitement to getting the book deal, because the sad side was like, where are all these books gonna go when they close? I don't know what they do. Do they redistribute them to other stores? How that works? I'm sure they have that plan. But the fact that they're trying to sell them out means obviously they don't want to have a huge amount of inventory to redistribute or whatever they have to do, right? So I felt the vibe was totally different, and I even got in conversations, because that's the book person I am, with people while we're looking about, the sadness that it's going, and that what's the fate of these books. But I have a pile here I want to share with you. And the other thing that I wanted to say is, like, I was thinking about myself while I was shopping. It was each time I still go with like a surge of energy and like, oh, let me see. Am I missing something? I'm missing something. What do I have on my list that maybe is here? And then I reach a point where I'm just like, why don't you just experience it and just walk like you are in a bookstore on vacation, where you just look around and you peruse and see things and they jump out at you. That's what I did a lot more this time. And I feel like with the exception of one, which my son picked, but the rest of them kind of, I remembered seeing them somewhere and heard things about them, and some of them I just was fascinated by the cover. So let's get started. Okay, and they're not in any order, they just were piled. I piled them over here. I wasn't thinking, and I didn't put them in any special order, but anyhow, this one is great. I do each year, I do the Read Caribbean, and I really enjoy, I'm reading books from various islands, and this one will actually fit in. So if I wanted to read one this year, and I also remember seeing this one, I think this book came out, I want to say, let me see. Yeah, it was 2021. So it came out this year. I remember hearing about it. This is a book, it's called Your Corner Dark, and it's by Desmond Hall. And here's the cover. And let me see if you see the flag, you might know where the author is from. It's in the front, actually, it says the country name. It's Jamaica. And so I'm excited to read this. This one I think is a young adult. The author was born in Jamaica, West Indies, and then moved to, was born in Jamaica, West Indies, and then moved to Jamaica, Queens, and I think he's still living in the United States now. And this one, I don't think it has a description on the back, does it? Here's what Jason Reynolds says about it. The best way to describe your corner dark is to say it's a stomach knotter. It's one of those tales that ties you up, turns you inside out, wrings you like a wet cloth. Desmond Hall leaves us no choice but to root for Frankie Green, a young man in Jamaica doing everything he can to claw himself out of the bear trap of his environment. That has transformed him, not exactly into a bear, but definitely into more than just a good boy. Take note, Hall is a hurricane of a writer. I believe it's like a coming of age story, and he is in Jamaica. And it gives you a good perspective on the environment and what it's like, I guess, also being a male, a black male, you know, in Jamaica growing up. I believe that's correct. And I can't remember where I saw this. I know I saw it a bunch on Instagram. But one of the things that I'm writing my goals for this year is to be a little more organized about where I'm getting the book recommendations from. Because I started out pretty good. I had some things, I wrote stuff down, and then I started doing what I shouldn't do. I was writing on pieces of paper, and then I think, okay, I'll get this into, I'm so cold, I should have had tea. I should, you know, get this into the journal before I lose it. And then I lose it. So, you know, it's one of those things. So I can't remember, but I know that there's somebody else that talked about this too. So I'm curious. And again, everything was 50 to 60. At this time, I have 50 to 70% off. So yeah, it was like, I have to get it. So there's that one. I'll do that one in a minute. The next one, okay, is a good example of a book that I just not on my radar, not even a thought of it, but I was walking around and the bright book caught my eye and the name caught my eye, and I was like, well, you know what? Would be a perfect time to get this person's book. And that's Sonia Sanchez. It's collected poems. Sonia Sanchez, it says, for over 6 decades, Sonia Sanchez has been a fiercely powerful and empowering voice for all of us and for people of color in particular. Her contributions as a writer, an educator, and an activist have been invaluable. Gathering highlights from all of her poetry, this compilation is sure to inspire love, community engagement among her legion of fans. Beginning with her earliest works, including poems from her first volume, Homecoming, in 1969, through 2019, Sanchez shares her favorite pieces in all forms of verse, from haiku to key excerpts from her book-length poem, Does Your House Have Lions? And it goes on. One of my struggles, and there's a nice picture of her here in the back, and I don't know if there's one inside. No, just her in the back. I don't know if you've listened to me on this channel, or if you're new, you might not know. I just struggle with poetry, and I really want to be able to read it. I spent a lot of time in the summer in my garden and in nature, and I just feel like poetry would be a nice pairing. And I always envision that one day I will be there and that I will be able to do that and appreciate both things simultaneously. I don't know if I romanticize it or not. I mean, I know poetry can really speak to many things. It could be about love, it could be about strife, you know, it could be so many things. So, but I just think that would be I would really love to like really get along with this in my garden this summer, you know, or on my patio, you know, with a nice drink or iced tea or something, and just like sit with the words. So my goal is hopefully this year to kind of conquer my phobia, find my taste. I know, just like anything else, and I know this for sure as a reader, that there is a poem for everyone. There's types of poetry for everyone, just as there's a book for everyone. And I just need to dedicate the time to find out. So I was so excited to be able to get this one half off. Yep. So wasn't on my radar, and it's got a really pretty cover. You can't see it, but there's like these little circles on it that are like shimmery. They're like little like, yeah, they're really nice. It's very good cover. This one I remember seeing, I believe even on Amazon promoted, and then I think I saw this also on Instagram. This is another one I found in, I believe this is in the young adult section. Yep, I believe so. And it is a debut novel, I believe. And it's called Hurricane Summer, which is, look at the gorgeous cover. Okay. And it says Asha Bromfield is the author. And it says, Hurricane Summer, sometimes the storm is inside of you. And it says, she's an actress, singer, and writer of Afro-Jamaican descent. She is known for her role as Melody Jones, drummer of Josie and the Pussycats on CW's Riverdale. And she also stars as Zadie Wells on Netflix hit show Lock and Key. Asha is a proud ambassador for the Dove Self-Esteem Project, and currently lives in Toronto, where she's pursuing a degree in communications. In her spare time, she loves studying astrology, wearing crystals, burning sage, baking vegan desserts, and taking walks to the park with her dogs, Luke and Kyra. This is her debut novel. The other thing that is really cool and is that it is a book set in Jamaica, and I'll read a little bit about that. But look at the inside of the book. Now I didn't realize there was a little tear here, but I'm accepting of it because it was so discounted. There's a little tear here, but it's like Dunn's River Falls in Jamaica. And if you look in the back, it's gorgeous. It's just great. So I'm super excited to read. I have 2 now books. I think this is, like I said, another YA. It says, Tilla has spent her entire life trying to make her father love her, but every 6 months she leaves her family and returns to her true home, the island of Jamaica. When Tilla's mother tells her she'll be spending the summer on the island, Tilla dreads the idea of seeing her father again, but longs to discover what life in Jamaica has always held for him. In an unexpected turn of events, Tilla is forced to face the storm that unravels in her own life as she learns about the dark secrets that lie beyond the veil of paradise and in the midst of an impending hurricane. It's going to be great. It's a father-daughter story, coming-of-age story, set in Jamaica. I think it's going to be really good. So I think that I might even line these up and put them and think about, I think it's June is the Read Caribbean month, and might just have my list ready, So this is an option. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Now this one I forgot to grab before I came and sat down. I have been collecting this author's books because my mom had, and I don't know, my sister may have some of the old books. My mom had some of these books in her bookshelf by this author, and her name is Mildred D Taylor. And Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry was one of the ones that my mom owned. And then they made a movie about one of them, I believe. I want to say that was Sounder. Anyhow, I've been collecting her books. These are, yes, young adult books, and it's kind of it's a series of family drama, or a saga, you want to call. I think they're set in like down south. I want to say Mississippi. Anyhow, so I've been collecting them. Well, I just came across, once I saw the name, I was like, oh, this one I think is her latest of that. I thought that the series had ended, but apparently she wrote another one. So this came out in 2019, I think. So this one is called All the Days Past, All the Days to Come. And it follows this Black family. This particular one, it says, I don't want to read it actually. Because if it is part of the series, then I will hear things I might not. But it's the Logan family, and it follows this Black family down south. And it's usually, I think it was in the 60s. So yeah, so I was excited to snatch this one up. It's so funny. I was like, I don't want to read it. As soon as I saw it, I grabbed it, and I didn't look purposely at the back. And I should have put a note to myself not to even look, because I don't want to spoil it. And my goal would be to read the whole collection of them, because I just, well, obviously my mom had it, but also I just think it would be really cool to see how the stories translate now and how the new one is. Now this next one was pure cover, but I had seen this, I want to say I saw this online somewhere. But just look at the cover and tell me that you would walk away from this book and you knew it was 50% off. And first of all, and it's also very tiny. Look at the cover. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. And look at the island down there, right? Then flip it to the back. It's like the silhouette of her. And then you get the island and everything around it. It's called Home. Talk about a tiny book. It says it's a hopeful story about finding one's place. It's Home by Lisa Allen Agostini. And it said, let's see if I can get, moving from Trinidad to Canada. So I got another one that I could read. Moving from Trinidad to Canada wasn't her idea. But after she's hospitalized for depression, her mother sees it as the only option. Now living as an estranged aunt, she barely remembers and dealing with her troubles in a foreign country, she feels more lost than ever. Everything in Canada is cold and confusing. No one says hello. No one walks anywhere, and bus trips are never ending and loud. She just wants to go home in Trinidad. She just wants to be home in Trinidad. But this new home also brings unexpected surprises. The chance at a family that loves unconditionally, the possibility of new friends, and the promise of a hopeful future. Canada just might be a place where she can really belong. If she can only find the courage to be honest with herself. So I think this would be a really great, probably coming to age story, another kind of like an immigration story, and also, kind of how you identify yourself in a new place, and how do you connect in a new place and create that sense of home in a place that's not the place that you grew up or and found your origins. So yeah, gorgeous. And look at, it's tiny. Let me see, how many pages is it? 145. Now I need more books like that in my life, right? No. As slow as I read. So this next one, never heard of it, but I know the author because I met her a couple of years ago and had her sign a book that I bought from her, and she writes a young adult. I was in the young adult section, by the way, so you haven't figured that out, with the exception of the poetry book and the one that my son picked out. And I had, I told you, I read widely and I read anything. So this particular author I had found, but I'm kind of curious and thinking maybe I will read this. Last year there was a epic fail on a book that I was going to read. If I had my book journal, I could tell you the name of it. I can see it almost right now, but I just can't see the name of it. But I didn't read it, and it was another edition of talking about the Tulsa riots. And this one here is by Brandy Colbert, and this is called Blackbirds in the Sky, the story and legacy of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. And I would like to read these together. So now that I didn't read that one last year, and it even took up a space in my book journal, which I never finished and filled it in because I didn't read it, I think I will read these together and see, kind of compare the way that they handled the material. And that might be a nice way to dig deeper into the book. So maybe there's a good reason why I didn't read that other one. So that's what this one is. She's written a bunch of YA novels. She was really lovely when I met her, and I got her to sign the book that I got from her a couple of years ago, which I still haven't read. So maybe I'll read that one as well with this. So I have this one, and then I saw this, and the cover looks really familiar. Well, it's a journal. It's not a book, but it's Write Yourself a Lantern. It's a journal inspired by the Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. And I don't know if you know, but if you listen to any of my old videos, I absolutely love her books. I love listening to them in audio because they're told in verse, and it's brilliantly delivered in the audio version. So this is kind of the color and the cover of the Poet X. And it's not like I don't have enough journals. Let's all be real about it. I just have way more journals than I need. But I was really excited to see this because, I think that, it's kind of nice to have a variety of options, to write. This could be my book that I write about certain topics, maybe, that bother me. For example, like some things about environmental things or social justice issues. And maybe I'll just journal about my feelings, like something about that in here, as opposed to, a gratitude journal where I'm talking more about what I'm grateful for, or sometimes my regular journal, which will sometimes turn up kind of a summary of what I did that day. But I thought that this one could be kind of like the dig into, well, what did I think about this issue? Or what do I think about? That would be kind of cool for this. And then that way it takes off the pressure of this has to be an everyday thing. It might be I pick it up when I'm thinking about something that really has impacted me in a certain way. It made me think. So this is, and I have it on topic, a good discussion I have with my husband recently. That would be a really good one to document in here. It's just I have to figure out how to word it, reword what I had said. Our discussion was fantastic. But it's really, really lovely. Look at the inside of this, right? It's so pretty. The pages are so, so pretty. Write about the most impactful day of your life. There are some prompts in here. And then there are other pages that are just not, But I think that's what I might use it for. Look at that. Look at that. It's stunning. It's really, make poems from the sharp feelings inside. Look at the, I mean, the colors are so me. I love it so much. So I'm excited about this. Was that one of my kids or somebody outside? There you go. So we didn't hear that. Anyway, so I'm excited about this. Check it out if you see it in your store. I got it for half off, but you know, even if you got full price, it still would be worth it. So there's that. And the very last book, my son picked out, you know, because he went with me and he was sitting in the cafe and I kept saying, you know, you want to look for something, you want to look for something. No, he was on his phone. And then he came up to me with this one and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this one. And this was on my list since I heard about it and I just forgot about it. And I wasn't even thinking because these were 50% off as well. And it's Bill Gates' book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, the solution we have and the breakthroughs we need. I mean, hello. So first of all, I'm so excited. He wants to read this. So I said to him, let's share it because I want to read it too. So we got it and I don't know who's going to get to it first. I have stuff, as you know, on my plate. So he may get to it before me. And then it'd be nice for him and I to have a discussion about it. I mean, yeah, hello. I hope so. I hope so. You know, sometimes he says things and you're like, yeah, I'll get to it. So I'm not going to push it. I'm going to try to, like, you know, maybe gently leave it around the house sometime when I'm, you might stumble across it and be like, hey, one night when you can't sleep, I got something for you. So anyways, those are the books. Look at this. Look at this. What? Don't tell anybody I went again. Just don't. Look at that. What? Is that insane? I think they're going to be great. I'm so looking forward to these poems. And if anybody has recommendations on how I can get myself, you know, in there, and what are your experiences in terms of how to approach poetry so that you are not feeling overwhelmed, you know. And I just want to, I know I can do it. I just have to dedicate the time so that I can get my people that I like, you know, just like I have the authors that I like. But I'm very excited for all of these. I'm hopefully, like I said, I could use this journal that way. This one I want to definitely read. And I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 that I could use for the Carubathon. So excited. I don't need to buy any more books. That's one thing right now, right? December and January has been good to me. I need to stay clear of shopping for a few months, right? Anyway, I hope you all are well. Let me know what you think of my look, haul. And if you've read any of them, and just let me know how you're doing. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys soon. I need to drink because my mouth is getting dry, so I must have talked too long. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Either way, I will talk to you guys soon. Keep reading, wash your hands, wear your mask, wear the mask, wear the mask, wear the mask. We need all the people to wear the mask so we can be safe. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.